The 2019 Callaway Apex Forged Irons against the 2019 Callaway Apex Pro Irons. I've spent all day with these irons. I've been out on the golf course, I've been here in the studio, and I'm going to show you a comparison that will hopefully help you make your mind up as to which of these beautiful clubs you should have in the bag. Let's do it, and let's do it now. Hi everyone, James Robinson here. If you're new to the channel and this is your very first time watching my content, in fact, wait, if you're not new here and this isn't the first time watching my content, thank you so much all for carrying on watching. I really appreciate it. But if you are new here, make sure you consider hitting that subscribe button. The channel growth is insane and I cannot believe it. Today I have the Callaway Apex Pros against the Callaway Apex Forged Irons. Like I said in the intro, I've spent all day with these bad boys and all of them feel absolutely fantastic. But what about the technology involved? Well, the more and more I've read up on these irons, the more videos I've watched, the more shots I've hit, the more I've asked Callaway questions, the more I see that these irons are all about variance, they're about variability, they are about long irons being different to short irons, and about different clubs in the same set offering different launch angles that you require to play your best golf. So for instance, the Callaway Apex Forged offers a 360 cup face, it offers variable tungsten weighting in the heads, so the location in the 4-iron is going to be way different to the location in the pitching wedge. That's going to provide you a better spin rate, better forgiveness, better ball speed on the different clubs, so that the 4-iron is going to do exactly what you want it to do in flight, and the pitching wedge alternatively is going to do exactly what you want it to do in flight. Now the difference being the Forged is obviously a slightly bigger looking head, it has a little bit more offset in the longer irons, and we have the 360 cup face throughout the whole set. The Apex Pro, however, is a much sleeker looking face, but I must say both these clubs offer a real short blade length. They both look really small. I was really surprised when I got out on the golf course this morning and I put the Apex Forged down, just how short that blade length was. I'm thinking, well, this is a performance iron, albeit a player's performance iron, but I could not believe the shortness of that blade length. So if you are going to go and try these, just make sure you're ready and make sure you're going to hit the middle of that face or there or thereabouts. The amazing point for me is that they've managed to get all that technology pretty much into the Apex Pro iron, into a much smaller, sleeker looking head. And I'm going to pull no punches, guys. If you've watched my review on both these clubs, then this is basically a mashup of both those videos. However, I could quite easily put both these clubs in my bag. Callaway do offer a mashup of these two sets, however it's not just a normal mashup set that you would get off the rack. Both half sets will come in the chrome finish, so as opposed to just having the chrome finish in the Apex Pro, then moving up into the Apex Forged and not having the chrome finish, all the irons would look the same and the lofts would be sufficient for that as well, so the lofts would be matched into a bit of a set, which is a fantastic idea. I spoke to you a minute ago about the 360 cup face, which is in the Apex Forged. That is still in the Apex Pro, but only in the long irons. So rather than having the cup face in the shorter irons where the players don't really need it, it is more of a face plate. So you still get a little bit of help with the ball speed, you still get that little bit of help with the off-center hits, you still get that variable face thickness, which is designed to help you get the best spin rate for that club so it performs just as you want it to, and you still get the variable tungsten weighting for the performance. Should we just hit some shots? So guys, you may have noticed that, you may not have done. I am using the shots from both the other comparison videos purely because I don't really see the point of hitting more shots. I hit loads of shots when I was reviewing these two clubs, so they are the ones we're going to go with. Before we talk numbers, I'd just like to sing the praises of these clubs being used out on the golf course. They felt phenomenal, especially the Apex Pros. The soft feel throughout was just incredible, the sound was incredible, the shot shaping workability was like an art, I think I described on the other video, and I even chipped in when I started just having a mess about around the greens with the pitching wedge. Magical. So how do these clubs differ in numbers? Because I took these sets out there and I had 4 iron, 6 iron, 8 iron pitching wedge, and I was thinking, well, the 4 iron in the Forged will act as a 3 iron, then the 4 iron in the Pro is a 4 iron, then the 6 iron in the Forged is a 5 iron, the 6 iron in the Pro is a 6, and so on and so forth, thinking that obviously the higher jacked up lofts on the Apex Forged would just offer me pretty much a full set. That's not necessarily how it worked out. You know what? Let's just take a look at the numbers that I found for these clubs. First thing I'd like to say when talking numbers isn't really about numbers, it's about the dispersion. And going through all these shots, you can see how it's not too bad. A couple of rogue swings, but in fairness to me, it's been a long day. Let's start with the Apex Pro 8 iron. Distances, there's one real bad one, and this is where I can see how the Apex Pro isn't quite as forgiving as the Apex Forged. The first one at 147 is, well, it wasn't very good. However, the other ones are absolutely huge, massive. Averaging at 164. And if we move on to the Apex 8 iron, pretty similar, you know. Obviously we didn't have the bad one. Look how consistent that is. Average distance 170, as opposed to with the Apex Pro 164, so 6 yards longer, pretty much what you would expect. The Apex Pro 8 iron, average spin of 6,365, and the Apex 8 iron a lot lower at 5.4. What about the Apex Pro 6 iron? Again, look at that consistency. That is, for a 6 iron for me, that is insane, to be fair. Remember guys, this is the Apex Pro. Average distance 189 with the Apex Pro. Let's take a look at the Apex. 188. So the average distance for me on the Apex 6 iron was actually shorter. Apex. Distances again all fairly consistent. Probably shot 2 that's dragging that down there, shot 3. Spin rate with the Apex very, very, very low, under 5,000. Whereas spin rate with the Apex Pro 6 iron, just over 5,000, so that is obviously helping me get the ball launching in the air, helping me spin longer in the air, and helping me get more distance. What about the Apex Pro 4 iron, I hear you screaming? Now I struggled with this, I struggled with it on the course a little bit, I struggled with it in here. Distances, all around 200, but a couple of really kind of just poor golf swings really. Averaging distance 199, this is where I would expect to see a huge difference, because if I went these clubs I would go split set, I think. Apex 4 iron, distances, look at those distances. Oh, I might frame that. Average distance 221, as opposed to, let's go back to the Apex Pro, 199, so a 20 yard difference there. I'm going to admit it, I didn't strike the Apex Pros fantastically. Spin rate, I was very impressed with this 4 iron actually. Spin rate just under 3,500, which I mean, for a player's performance iron is absolutely absurd. Spin rate with the Apex Pro 4 iron, just over 4,000, so again, pretty good, just over that 4,000 mark, but the ball striking wasn't fantastic. So for me there, as you saw, the Apex Pros, apart from the long irons, in which case, but which irons should you use? Now for me, if you are a mid-handicapper, I mean, these clubs aren't designed for high handicappers. I'm going to put that out there now. They are just not designed for you. You need to go look at the Callaway Big Bertha option, the Callaway Rogue option. Neither of them are the most forgiving golf club in the Callaway range. The interesting point is there's a few tour players that are actually just using the full set of the Callaway Apex Forged, which is incredible when you think about it. They're a little bit bigger, they're a little bit stronger lofted. A fantastic option for me with these clubs is the split set. Now, if I was going for these clubs, and in fairness, you know, in all honesty, I would absolutely love to have these in the bag. They just offer you that player's look, that player's feel, that player's sound, with the distance. Some of those distances were incredible, they're insane, and they were so consistent. Guys, if you are in the market for a set of players irons or a set of players performance irons, distance irons, but you can play a little bit, you're gonna hit the middle of the face more often than not, you have to check both these sets out. Please, please, please don't think that you're a scratch handicapper, you're a 4 handicapper, so the Apex Forged just isn't for you, because there's tour players using these clubs. The Apex Pros take my breath away. They're fantastic, they look amazing, they sound amazing, they feel fantastic. But do not discount the Apex Forged, guys, especially in the longer irons. Take a look at the split set. I think that's all I've got to say about these. I've been with these all day, and you know what? If I put them in the bag tomorrow, I would be absolutely ecstatic with them. I know I would. Apart from that, comment below, guys. Let me know what you think to these irons. I know you think that sometimes I just speak highly of clubs because they're golf clubs and I love golf, but these things really are a next level to especially some of the clubs that I've tried this year. So if you are in the market for new irons, make sure you go try them. Apart from that, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Put that thumbs up. Come on, smash the thumbs up. While you're down there, hit the comments. Anything. What do you think to them? I'll see you soon.